Okay everyone, welcome back. This is part 3, I believe, of the AirKing compressor series. So since we last convened on this one, I've actually used the mains setup on this to fill up the FX. It took 6.5 minutes to get from, I think it was 140 bar on the dial there, up to 245, I think it was. The setting on the AirKing was actually for 250, but 245 was what showed up on the dial on the FX. So 6.5 minutes is pretty good for 110 bar, I suppose. So what we're going to do now, I have a 1.5 hour lithium battery here, fully charged, just taking it off the charger. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get this one up and running, and we're going to time how long it takes to get this one, because I was out shooting last night, from, what is that, 170. So we're going to see how much pressure I can actually get into this and how long it actually runs for before I run out of power on the 1.5 hour battery, 1.5 amp hour. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. And we're away. It's going to take a little while to actually get the compressor up to pressure. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how long this one lasts for. Getting close to 200. 140. 225, getting close to, there you go, getting close to 230. So it's 3 minutes and 50 seconds for 1.5 amp hours of battery power, and that has given me the grand total of, what is that, 50 bar, 70, 220, 50. Sorry, 170 to 220. My maths works that out at about 50 bar. So based on that, 100 bar should be, well, what's that, 7 minutes and 20 odd seconds for 100 bar, give or take. And then if you extrapolate out the timing for what we got out of 1.5 amp hours, work that out to 5 amp hours, that should give you, what, 4, 6, 9, about 12 or 13 minutes, give or take, I think. So yeah, there we go. 1.5 amp hour, 3 hours and 40 minutes of runtime, and approximately 50 bar of filling into the M4 sniper. So yes, I'll shoot this thing a bit more and drop it down a bit further, and then I'll actually get the 5 amp hour battery out and plug him in, and we'll see how we go. And I'll cut back in when I've actually got the air rifle reduced to a point where 5 amp hours is going to be useful. We'll check back in then. Cheers. Hey everybody, welcome back. Through the magic of YouTube and TV, we're back trying out the AirKing 300 Outback. I have been out to the range and managed to deplete the Impact 4 down to just over 150 bar. So that should give us a good test for at least 100 bar worth of fill. And we'll see how well this 5 amp hour Ryobi lithium battery goes. Now, this is fully charged. Came off the charger not long ago. So what we're going to do, I'm going to crank up this bad boy, and then when I close the valve, we'll hit the start button on this one, and we'll see how long it takes to do just under 100 bar because it's not quite going to do 100, and then we'll have a quick check and see how much battery's actually left on the Ryobi, and then do some, well, mathematical equations will come after the fact. I'll try not to do them live because maths ain't my strong point, but anyway, we'll get this thing cranking and see how we go. So, plugged in, on, powered up, start button, and button that up. Start. Let's see how long it takes. Could be a dry old thing, so I might fast forward this. Alright, getting close to max pressure here. Should cut off in a minute. Any second now. Let me wait there for a second. Alright. So that was 6 minutes, 5 seconds for, going to run with, wasn't quite 100 bar, 95 bar. That's still pretty good. Now the question that everyone's waiting to see, this was 4. Okay, so it's showing 2 at the end of the cycle, even though it was only showing 1 at one point there when it was actually running. So that's an interesting observation. So assuming that those 2 bar they're showing now is actually accurate, half roughly, 6 minutes, 100 bar, in theory 5 ampere should get you 200 bar. Now I won't be able to prove this until I go and shoot another 100 bar out of this, doing some testing and just general plinking out of the range. So what I will do, I will leave this battery in its current state. I won't put it back on charge, and then once I've shot this off, which will probably be in a couple of nights, we'll come back and I'll put the remainder of this battery back on. Well, sorry, I'll leave the battery on, but we'll plug it in again and get cranked up, and we'll see how much actual power is left in it and see whether we can get another 6 minutes out of it. Assuming that is the case, that's 12 minutes of runtime. So that calls a little bit into question the claim of 30 minutes per battery on the AirKing website. That being said though, they don't actually mention what battery size they use to achieve 30 minutes of runtime. So could very well be they've utilized a 6 or an 8 amp hour lithium battery, but because there's nothing on there to actually tell you what they used, we're sort of left making our own assumptions based on what we're seeing real world. So I'm going to leave it here for the minute. I'll dump the air out of that and unplug this, but there will be another bit of this that comes back on. For you it'll be straight after this, for me it'll be a few days, but we'll check back in when we get to that stage. Cheers. Hey everybody, welcome back. I have just returned from the range and depleted the air out of this thing sufficiently to warrant sticking it back on the compressor to give it a pump up. So where we left off the other day, we were at 6.15 minutes on the battery. It's a 5 amp hour And when we left, it was actually showing 2 bars. Strangely, showing 1 now of power left, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on there, whether that's the battery that has actually lost power in the day and a half that it's been sitting there attached to the device. I wouldn't think so. More likely possibly is that the battery itself wasn't reading, well, it was reading 2 when we left the last time. Possibly that was maybe residual extra 1 bar, and it's somehow just sort of realized that it's actually only on 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crank this on and I'm going to see how long it's actually going to go to drain the battery. So we'll see what timing I actually get out of it. Now I'm not going to, just going to add to this. I forgot that I'd left it saved, so this actually worked out pretty well. So let's see how we go. Yep. Not the best angle, and yeah, I was going to say that was actually sounding a little bit disastrous, and to be fair, it sort of sounds like it's struggling already. Struggling. That's going to conk out in a minute. Not even that. Well, that was short-lived. So we got an extra minute, 7 minutes out of that battery. So I'm not sure what that actually tells me. I don't know whether that's the fact that the battery sat for a couple of days, had a bit of a bleed of actual power that was in it. Whether that's actually a thing or not, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think that the unit was off, so it shouldn't have been drawing any, even just a trickle charge out of that. It should have been pretty good. So to be honest, I'm not sure what to make of that. 7 minutes for 5 amp hours. I'm pretty sure the manual claims 30 minutes of power from 1 battery. So as I said in the onset, there's no actual reference to how many amp hours that battery needs to be to get you 30 minutes of power. Clearly not 5.0 amp hours. So yeah, based on that, even 10 amp hours, I'll be getting, actually 10 amp hours probably get me 3 fills. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, maybe 2.5 fills. I'd have to test it. That being said, don't have another 5 amp hour battery. I was actually waiting to see what I got out of this combination to determine how many amp hours my next Ryobi battery should actually come with. So yeah, make of that what you will. Scientific, not really. Interesting, I would think so. Certainly for anyone that's thinking about getting one of these, stay posted. I'll probably end up getting like an 8 amp hour battery, and we'll see how that goes. The downside for me is though, I'd need to fill this up, go out, shoot it, come back, fill it again to do a proper test. In reality, I probably should have done that. I probably should have filled it up first before I went. Well, I did, and then done it on the same day. So filled it up, gone to the range, shot it, and then come back to try the residual and just see whether the actual residual battery power that was showing actually stuck at 2 and it wasn't just some funny business going on. Anyway, yeah, I will check back in downstream quite a bit once I let you know what's going on. But hopefully this has been interesting and informative. As an actual compressor product, I actually quite like it. that being said, it is my first one, so I've really got nothing to compare it to. But on mains power, it goes fantastically. But I bought it for that, but also for the ability of 18 volts. So I might have to rethink that aspect of it. I don't really want to go down the path of buying different brand of batteries to see if I get more longevity out of those. This one, it's not that old. Might be a year old. I doubt it's not done very much work. Like I bought it and it came with a pole saw, and I think I've used the pole saw 3 times, maybe 4 times. So it's not had a very hard life. That being said, if you've got experience with 18 volt battery packs across the different brands, feel free to comment as to whether you think Ryobi stacks up in the power stakes and longevity against the other ones. I have heard from friends that have got Makita, they don't think too much of them. Whether that's they just got a bad battery batch or what, who knows, but you can only really go with what people are telling you. But yeah, I'll be interested to hear what you guys have found with your 18 volt batteries. But yeah, that is it for me. I'm gonna pack this away. I won't call it done. Certainly there's a bit of revision work that needs to be come back here. That's it. Enough dribble. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this content, please hit the like, subscribe button. Everyone helps. Cheers.